Good, so here we have the 4 photographs that I have selected. Camera was on a tripod, so that doesn't move. Light stays the same, so that doesn't move. And once I was finished taking the pappardelle with the truffles in a way that I liked, I then thought about having the truffle slices falling down and took 3 different photographs. Now, as you can see, the moment you bring your hands into the set, no matter what happens, they will always throw a little bit of a shadow, not a shadow, but a color difference. You can see the tone difference from the first photograph to those 3 is slightly different. I'm going to open these 4 photographs, so just going to go edit in Photoshop, each individually. Because I want to be able to move the slices to where I like them to be. So here I have them all 4 highlighted, and to be able to get my truffle slices onto my picture, I'm going to Window, at the top, Arrange, and I'm going to put them all vertically. You can choose other forms, but I like vertically for this, because now I can see them. This is my original photograph. Here at the bottom, if I move that, I've got the slicer. Here I have 2 of those, and I have the 1 here. Beautiful. I'm going to start with this one. And the reason why I'm doing that is that I want to grab the slicer nice and easy. So I grab it and close it. To grab that particular photograph, there I am going to use that photo. I'm going to go and grab this little magnetic lasso. Now I am going to take a little bit of the surroundings with me, just so it's quick and fast to move. Go to the Move tool at the top, grab the thing we just did and drag it over to the first photograph. Now it just falls somewhere on it, but that enables me to close that one and get a little bit more space happening. Don't save changes, just make it go. Good. This one, I want to grab them both separately, so I have more freedom in moving them around. So go here, get the little bottom one, go around it, and make sure you end at the last one, so it starts to get in all these marching ends. Go to your Move tool, grab it, and put it where needed. Go. To grab the second one, I'm going to move it a little bit there, move that a bit up, and I can grab the second one there. Make sure I don't get the fingers in it. End at the last one. Move tool, grab that, and move. Cool. So now I can also close this one. Don't save any changes. And I can move it a little bit more in this position, so I have a better chance of grabbing my hands with the slicer. Okay, grab it around, go around it to the far edge, to the top, along the top, to the far end there, and again, Move tool, grab it and put it on. Perfect. I close that as well. Don't save changes. Good, I have them all in here. And as you can see, they're all there, but as I already mentioned, the color starts to change a little bit the moment you bring other items in. So I'm going to move, first of all, move them in position where I want the hand to be, and that's going to be at the far top. Now, as you can see in the far top, it's already pretty reasonable. So I might just leave that one as is, although it's a tiny notch off. So I'm going to give it a curve layer, which is at the bottom here. Press that one, go to Curves. And I'm going to just push my lights up a mini notch. See? Just, oops, that's the whole image. Sorry, one step to go. I have to make that curve layer. Go there. I have to link it to this layer below it, otherwise it does the whole image and that's not going to be good. So if I click on here, I can now make that into a clipping mask. Right click, get the clipping mask on, and there's this little arrow going like this, it's clipping to this picture. So now it's only doing that bit. You see what I mean? So all I'm doing is a little notch, not much, not too much, about there. It's minuscule, but it makes it look better. My third layer, highlight your third layer, grab the move tool, and it seems to be this one at the top. I think I'm going to let it fall from about here. About there is a good spot, and I move it up a tiny notch more to there. That seems to be a nice spot. Again, a curve layer on top of here. There it goes. Right click, clipping mask. The little arrow starts, and I can just give that curve layer a mini notch so it just falls beautifully without doing a silly thing there. Layer 2, I'm gonna have the move tool. Now I'm grabbing that, and that is going to be somewhere here. Yeah. Here you can see it more noticeable that it's in a different position, so the curve layer becomes more important. So go here, go to curves, right click on that curve layer and clipping mask, and up a notch in the white, and you can just see the tone disappearing. There you go. And then the final one, this layer here, I'm going to grab it and I'm going to move it a little bit to that area, just about there. If I want to have this one in a slightly different position, I can press Command T and I get this little box, and I can just turn it to how I like it to fall. So I want it a little bit different because he was getting too similar to that particular shape, so that's better. Go return, so it's done, and now he's actually a little bit light in the mix of everything else. So I'm going to give him a curves layer, right click, clipping mask, arrow appears, and I'm actually going to find my midtones, which is here, and I'm going to drag them down a little bit, just so he's going to look a little bit better where he is. And I'm getting a little bit, not too easy, my blacks are a bit dark, up there a little bit. Okay, as you can see, this one is not playing as beautiful as the other one, so we have to do something else in a second, which I will go to now. This little one here, it needs a mask, and with the mask I can now make it a bit larger, Command plus, so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to use my brush, it's clicked on the mask, and I'm going to use my brush one here. I'm not going to use it at 100%, I'm just going to do gentle, 25%. Always have to have a check. You know, one color brushes, the other color doesn't. See, now it does, and before it didn't. Very gently, I'm just going to brush it out, just so it smoothly and gently moves in with, it blends nice and gently, but nothing over the top, just so that line is not so visible in there. There are many more ways of doing this, but just to be as a simple one, it suits me very well. Now while I'm at it, I may have a closer look at the others and see if they did come up as perfect as I thought they did. See, there is a little bit there, so I'm going to layer 2, give that a mask as well, right there, grab my brush, it's still on 25%, so very gently, just there, there, tiny little things that I can see. And I'm also going to have a look at layer 3, which is the top one here. Pretty amazing. I'll give it a notch of a mask, as I can see just something there. and there. And now we have a look at the fingers at the top and see how well that's a little bit smaller came out. So as you can see, there's a bit of something there that's not so good. So layer 4, click a mask on it, grab your brush, still at 25%, still on the color that reduces from that mask, and I just tip it in very gently and make that less of a line. Cool, beautiful. Fit on the screen, perfect. Now my second thing, if I'm looking at it, layer 4, also my fingers are quite red. I do not like that. So layer 4 is going to get another adjustment layer, which is a desaturation. So go saturation, give it again a, it's clipped straight away, that's perfect. And taking the saturation all the way out, it's gone. So I just want to do a little bit. I'm looking at the fingers until I go like, yeah, that's pretty alright for the fingers. Now with this, I have desaturated pretty much everything, and that's not what I want. So I'm going to go Command I, turned this one into black. I have to change my brush to white. I'm going in a bit closer. And now I can get that little bit of desaturation that is in the fingers. That was a bit too close. And I'm brushing some desaturation of that redness just from the fingers, but not from the root. Sorry guys. Normally I have a beautiful hand model, but being in lockdown, I have to do it myself. They are not looking the best. So probably what I'll do is I will also throw a Gaussian blur over it for the proper photograph. I won't go that far for this little tutorial, otherwise your mind will be spinning. But there you go. And as you can see little dots of white appearing. That means I have desaturated that top there. Cool. Towards the end of it, go to the background, flatten image, it's all there. There's a minuscule dot there, as I have probably mentioned before. That is from my camera not being able to go to the cleaners. I use my healing brush, very gently go over it, and that's also how I would, from now, touch up the rest of the photograph where it is needed.